So thank you once again for joining us. And we're going to go ahead and bring in our first celebrity chef. I'm going to go ahead and introduce him now for you. You may know him as Andre Fowles. He's a native to the beautiful island of Jamaica. Andre grew up around delicious foods that were made by his grandmother, who taught him the art of down-home cooking. From his grandmother's kitchen, his passion grew and was led to Run-A-Boat Heart Academy and then the Culinary Institute of America in New York City. Upon graduating from the Culinary Institute of America, Andre started working in some of Jamaica's finest establishments. One such was the award-winning Mac's Chop House with notable chef Mario Machado. After Mac's Chop House, Andre spread his culinary wings to Round Hill Hotel, beautiful hotel, where he spent several years as a sous chef to the renowned Chef Martin McGinley, creating new approach to Caribbean flavors with a global concept to share with their exclusive diners such as Ralph Lauren and Sir Paul McCartney. Andre has then served as a chef de cuisine at New York City's premier Caribbean restaurant, Miss Lily's, for 4 years, which we've all heard of Miss Lily's. And he's also made several appearances on the Food Network, Sobe Food and Wine Festival down in South Beach. He's a star chef in New York, Food and Wine, Bon Appetit events, and Daily Meal Test Kitchen in New York City. He's easily recognized for his culinary talents. Chef Fowles is a third-time champion for the Food Network series called Chopped, a finalist on Chopped Grand Championship Tournament, as well as appearing as a contestant on Beat Bobby Flay Cooking Show. In 2016, Andre started his hospitality company, Everything Food, based in New York City. Let's go ahead and bring on Andre Fowles. Remember, he's also an ambassador, and we're gonna call this one a rumbassador for the Appleton Estate Premier Rums. Let's go ahead and welcome Chef Andre Fowles.
Hi, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Absolutely, Chef. How are you?
Hi, Adrianna. It's a pleasure meeting you. I'm doing great, and you?
Wonderful. I'm super excited.
Thank you for that amazing intro. You guys are checking all the boxes. You're making sure that everything is thoroughly presented. I love it. Thank you so much.
Have to. You're one of our own, so we want to make sure we, check off every single box and let everyone know.
Love it, love it, love it.
Well, I'll turn it over to you. If you need me, I'm right here. I'll be
sure. Awesome. So again, thank you so much. It's my honor and privilege to be a part of this amazing fundraiser, the Run-A-Boat Fundraiser. And of course, we have to give congrats to the amazing Jamaican woman of Florida, putting on this event for a noble cause. And again, I'm so honored to be a part of it, to help bring awareness and to help raise some funding so we can continue to do the great work that you're doing in Jamaica. So again, I'm Chef Andre Fowles, Jamaican at heart, love cooking. And today we're going to just show you a very simple recipe, how to elevate the Jamaican flavors and make something delicious, but also very simple at home. So that's my thing. I love to put the twist on Caribbean cuisine with global concepts. So what that means, it can be something that's more of an international ingredient or concept, but I still find a way how to put my Jamaican Caribbean flavors in it. So today's dish is going to be a peppered shrimp pasta. And for me, pepper shrimp is one of those Jamaican snacks that I love. Every time I go back to Jamaica, it's one of the first things I get. So today you're going to need the ingredient list, which you should already have. But let me run through it again. You should have any dried pasta that's in your pantry. Today I'm going to be using spaghetti. So if you have rigatoni, penne, it doesn't matter. It's the same pasta. The same cooking time applies to it. It's a dried pasta of 8 ounces. So you can see it's a little bit of leftovers. So it's all about using what you have in a kitchen. And then we're going to be using some shrimp. So here I have some 1620 shrimps that has been cleaned, shell off, deveined, and I've just chopped them into pieces. So like 3 pieces per shrimp. So as you can see, they're like small nuggets right here. And then we have roasted bell peppers, and we have cashews, and a little bit of chopped onion, scotch bonnet, of course, and a little bit of garlic. And these are all ingredients that we're used to. And we have some paprika. So the first thing that we're going to be doing, right? You have to make sure that you have a pot of water boiling for your pasta. So we're going to crank this up on high. And then we're going to season the water with salt, a copious amount of salt. You want to, whenever you're cooking pasta, you want to make sure that the water is really salty. So just imagine when you're swimming in the ocean and you taste the natural salt from the water. That's what you want your pasta to taste like, because you want to maximize on the flavor of the pasta. So we're going to do like a couple tablespoons. It all depends on how much water you have in your pan, but you want to do a couple tablespoons. And one of the things that I like to do personally is to taste my water. I love tasting every step of the way. So let's taste the water to make sure it's salty. Take a little bit more. And cooking is always about flavor, so you got to taste every step of the way. And then you're going to need a trusty saute pan for your shrimp, right? So we have this on and low. So your water is going, your pan is going right here. First step we're going to do, we're going to cook our pasta, because this recipe is going to be very quick. Pasta takes between 7 to 8 minutes. So here I have my spaghetti. I'm going to just get this out of the box. Going to do a nice twist. Drop it in. Let me take you in a little bit closer to show you what's going on. So pasta goes in, and if you're using spaghetti, you want to give it a nice toss so it doesn't stick. You want to loosen it up. And you can time yourself. As you can see, I'm going to time myself. So it's going to be between 7 to 8 minutes exactly. That's going to give you the al dente taste, the firm to the bite. So while that's working, I'm going to move over to my food processor, which I'm going to make my signature pepper paste. It's like a Caribbean pesto, I would say. And we need a food processor for this. If you do not have one of these, you can also use a blender. But personally, I love to use a food processor because it gives you the perfect texture for your vegetables. So again, the recipe, we have a 1/4 cup of chopped onion, a teaspoon of fresh chopped thyme, 2 cloves of garlic. And if you have Scotch bonnet, you want to remove the seeds and the membranes because we don't want it to be too spicy. We want more floral notes that the Scotch bonnet is known for as well. So this goes in, and this is such a cool, simple recipe. Very healthy as well. You have cashews, 1/4 cup of cashews, and a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. And the recipe is very simple. It's a 1/4 cup all the way across the board, a 1/4 cup of roasted bell peppers. And you can get this at any store, grocery store that's close to you. So we'll just take it out, chop it up. That goes in. And then a teaspoon of paprika. So great ingredients here, great spices. And of course, if you do not have Scotch bonnet, you can substitute for red chili flakes. You can do a 1/2 teaspoon, or if you like it more spicy, you can do 1 teaspoon. But add a little first, and then you can add more after. Right? So that should do it. A touch of olive oil, because since we're making pasta, you should use good oils. But if you don't have olive oil, you can use vegetable oil. That's fine as well. And again, always season. Salt, and of course, pepper to taste. Okay, and we're ready to go. So we're gonna lock this up and give it a quick pulse. Just for a few seconds, maybe 15 to 30 seconds, 15 to 20 seconds, just to turn it into a slightly chunky paste. Because you want to get all those ingredients incorporated. And that should be it. Smells amazing. Let me give you a look at that. This is what I call a flavor bomb.
Nice.
All those beautiful ingredients. And this is just a different way to use your Scotch bonnet, because a lot of people think that Scotch bonnet is only used for the heat. Scotch bonnet is one of the hottest chilies in the world, but also one of the most flavorful, if not the most flavorful chili. So once you know how to adapt those flavors and import it into your cuisine, you can do that. And this recipe is one of those ways that I've demonstrated how to do that. And this is good for vegetables, chicken, seafood, meat, you name it, tofu. You can put this on tofu and it tastes amazing. And this can sit in your fridge for a very, very long time. So that's done. So the recipe is almost done. It's so easy.
That quick.
Go ahead. Do you have any questions already?
So is that like, how long would something like this take to prepare? Like, is this something that I have to do overnight?
You can do it overnight, actually. You can make this this paste like a week in advance, to be honest, because the longer it sits, the better it tastes. You know, because once you have that garlic and that onion and that fresh thyme sitting, it's so marinates. The longer it goes along, the better it tastes. It's like you're seasoning some jerk chicken. The longer you put it down, the better it tastes. So you can prep ahead. So,
okay.
So at this point, I want you to give your pasta a nice toss, just to make sure that it's not sticking to the bottom of the pan. Right. Then your paste is ready. Then we're gonna crank up the heat on our saute pan, which is we're gonna probably bring that to medium. So you want a nice thick wide pan.
Nice.
And we're gonna crank up our flame to medium. And we're gonna put our paste over here. Push this back. Always make sure your kitchen is clean and organized because it makes your job easier. Hands are clean, everything is clean. All right, so shrimp. As I said, it has been chopped up because I like the texture of the shrimp like this in the pasta, because once you cook it like this and you swirl it with the pasta, you get like a nugget of like really great flavor, and the texture is a little bit chewy, which I like, but not overcooked.
Cut up the actual shrimp, it's a better.
Yeah, better texture to chop it, because for this recipe you should use rock shrimp, which are like small sweet shrimps. But because but you can also use the bigger shrimp and chop it up so you get the texture similar to rock shrimp.
Oh.
All right.
So chef, yes, I have a question from the audience.
Yes.
Someone wants to know about the water. Does the water have to should the water be boiled first?
Yes, the water has to be at a rapid boil. As you can see right here, let me show you. Yeah, so that's what you want, because
so you boil it first before putting in the pasta.
Yes, you boil it first and then you season with salt. 2 to 3 tablespoons, depends on how much water you have in your pan. You want it to taste salty like the ocean, so you'll start with great flavors. And your pasta should cook between 7 to 8 minutes to make sure that it's perfectly cooked.
Okay.
All right, terrific. So we're gonna move on to our saute pan. So I added like a tablespoon of olive oil, and then we're gonna add our shrimp. Shrimp goes in, and this is what you want to hear. You ready? You want to hear that sear. So at this point, you want to use your tongue to lay your shrimp in the bottom of the pan, because you want to make sure that every piece of shrimp is being cooked at the same time. Right? And again, season as you go along. Although this paste has a ton of flavor, you always want to season in layers. That's what building flavors is all about. So again, salt and a little bit of pepper. And I can tell you, this smells amazing already, because this is really great shrimp, really fresh.
But I have a question for you, Chef.
And when you're cooking seafood, a quick chef's tip for you: seafood, especially shrimp, and know that it's been broken down into small pieces, takes literally 90 seconds, right? So as you can see, once you start to get that pink, pink color, you know, that's an indication of your shrimp being cooked. So I'm going to just turn my vent on a little bit, because we're roasting the shrimp. You want to get the color on the shrimp. So that color is going to be flavor.
I have a question. So what if I was allergic to shrimp? I mean, I have family members who are allergic. Can I use chicken instead?
Yeah, you could use chicken for this. You can use chicken breast or chicken thighs. You can use vegetables. You can use even beef, a piece of steak. Chop it up and turn it into like a peppered steak.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right, so I'll turn my vent off. And as you can see, the shrimp nice and roasted, the nice color in that, and it smells amazing. All right, next step, we're gonna add our pepper paste at this point to start to develop the flavor of the shrimp. So I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons. You can add more, you can add less, but I think 2 tablespoons should be perfect for this portion. And again, you want to saute the paste into the shrimp. And look at this. It smells wicked in this kitchen right now. Really, really great. You know, this smells like Jamaica, you know, but it's just a little bit elevated in terms of the presentation and of course the approach. But the flavors are very similar. The Scotch bonnet, the scotch bonnet, the onions, the garlic. So this is a good time to taste your pasta to make sure that it's al dente. So you want to bite into the pasta.
Okay.
And it should have some resistance. It shouldn't be soft or overcooked. Okay. So this is perfect. So at this point, I'm going to switch it off. It's been 7 minutes. Pasta is off. And I tell you, Adrianna, I wish you could smell it through your phone.
I smell it. It smells great.
It smells so good. I love this recipe. It's one of my favorite recipes. All right, so next, if you're a wine drinker, you can add wine to deglaze your pan. You know, it's just that kind of day. We're gonna add some wine. So at this point, you want to reduce your flame under the shrimp.
What type of wine? What type of wine?
So this is a white wine.
Okay.
So you can use any white wine that you have, a Chardonnay, whatever wine that you have, something that's more dry, not sweet. Okay. So once you add your wine to the pan, and as you can see, the sauce is starting to build with the wine. Okay. And you want to cook it off a little bit to cook off that alcohol off the wine. So a few more seconds, and that's it. Now we're gonna, let me bring my trusty tripod a little bit closer so you can see what's gonna happen. We're gonna know.
So chef, 1 minute please. You are killing the ladies. This is just awesome. So we have a question here from Janelle Johnson, who wants to know what your address is because she's coming over for dinner.
That's you know what? I'm all about making everybody happy with food. And this is what and it's just the passion of it. So thank you so much for the wonderful, kind words.
Yes, and we love a man that can cook. You know, we're just amazed when a man cooks.
You know what?
Because when a man cooks, he really cooks.
My granny taught me well. So look at that. So this is your pasta, and what I've done, I've added some fresh parsley. If you have fresh basil, that's perfectly fine. Whatever fresh herb you like, but preferably basil or parsley. So let me give you a nice close-up of that. You can see the perfectly cooked pasta with the flavorful sauce from the peppered paste and the shrimp. And I'm just going to give this a nice toss and a nice swirl just to incorporate the pasta in the sauce and let that pasta soak up all that goodness, the scotch bonnet, the garlic, the onions. This is just an amazing, elegant dish, but tastes like Jamaica. And that's what I like. The best of both. Something that looks amazing. Oh, my pasta is on one. Oh, that's it. Yep. Whoa. Oh, pasta gone. All right. Fresh herbs. And now we're gonna do a quick taste. All right. So at this point, you want to turn off all your burners. Make sure your pasta pan is off, your saute pan is off, and now we're gonna taste to make sure that the flavors are all working together. All right. So let me give you another close-up of how this looks.
Woo, nice.
It smells heavenly, looks amazing. And it's this is Jamaica on a plate, I would say.
So Nikki Sterling says her husband is going to be making her this same dish tonight for dinner.
Excellent. I would love to hear how it turns out, because I like to hear feedbacks on my recipes, because every recipe that I do is created by myself and it's original. I always try to create new recipes, to share with my audience. And this is one of those recipes that it's so simple and it always comes out amazing. So this is the bite that we're gonna have. So you can see the shrimp. You see that, Adrianna?
Yeah.
Look, right now.
Chef, you're making my mouth water. That looks simply delicious.
You know what? That is a perfect bite.
Yeah.
No joke. If you can recreate this recipe the exact same way, I guarantee you that's gonna make anyone happy. Yeah. It's so good. Sorry, I'm just puckering up right now. It's savory, it's slightly spicy, but in that sweet way because of the scotch bonnet. Because once you take out those seeds and the membranes, you don't have that overwhelming heat from the Scotch bonnet, which we love for jerk. But for this case, because it's so delicate, because it's shrimp and it's pasta, you want something that's more subtle but packs that punch. And this dish execute that on all levels.
I have a question for you, Chef.
Sure.
I've always wondered, is that a gas range that you're using?
What's that? Sorry.
Is that a gas stove that you're using?
Yes, I'm using a gas range.
Is there a difference between cooking on a gas range versus electric? Do you find that there's a difference in your meals?
I wouldn't say there's a big difference. It all depends on what is you're doing. I think with gas range, personally, you have more control. I like seeing the flames as well. It's something that it feels like you're more connected with the food versus an electric range, which doesn't give you much control, because some of the ranges they give you between low, medium, high, whereas gas you can always tweak it a little bit lower to manipulate the flames to better control your cooking.
Particularly when you have that nice pot of rice and peas that's just coming down, right?
You know what you're talking about in a dry. You know
I cook.
Exactly what you're talking about. That's actually one of the best things, because rice, you know, when you dry out the water, you want it to slow steam. Perfect example. Can't tell, say you cook a lot at home in a dry. All right, so now it's time to plate this up. So we have made the recipe. I've tasted the recipe to verify that it works, and it's absolutely delicious. Okay. If it's not delicious, shoot me a message on my Instagram and tell me, right? Because I would love to know. But now it's time to do this presentation. Cooking is also about making your food looking good, right? So we're gonna use a nice coupe bowl. I like using these because it's not too deep, so you can see the pasta, but it has the edges.
Okay.
So we're gonna just give this a nice stir, and it's.
So I have one last question for you, Chef. How much shrimp did you put to that recipe? It appeared to me that you use all of like a whole pack of spaghetti, correct?
All right, so my recipes are always similar in ratio. So I use 8 ounces of dried pasta, and you can use whatever type you have. It can be penne, rigatoni, elbow, it doesn't matter. But I use 8 ounces, and I use 8 ounces of shrimp. But again, you can always add a little bit more shrimp. You know, I know some people love their seafood, so you can always add a little bit more. But once you follow the recipe for the paste is where the flavor is at. So you have to follow that recipe, and then you can always tweak your pasta or your protein. You can use any kind of protein you like.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So so you want to make sure you plate with height. So we have swirled our pasta on top, and then we're gonna layer the shrimp in between the pasta. And I love the way the shrimp looks and the size of it, because it makes it easier to eat, you know, because it's smaller chunks. So it's always about the perfect bite as well. And this looks so good, ladies.
It does. Yes.
And then for me, I love cheese with pasta. So I'm gonna just add some fresh Parmigiano Reggiano on top. And of course, a little bit more fresh herbs. And always clean your plate. You know, so
presentation is everything.
When I used to work in Jamaica, and of course in the kitchen, you know, the chef would always say, make sure your plates looks clean, or else it's going to be problems. So you clean your plate, and this is how it looks.
Wow!
I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's heavenly. And of course, if you're allergic to gluten, you can do gluten-free pasta, chickpeas pasta, lentil pasta. You know, you can always mix it up to really adapt to your allergies that you may have. You know, and if you have dairy allergies, you can take out the cheese from the paste and add extra cashews so that it's dairy-free. So gluten-free, dairy-free. This recipe is versatile, and it would taste very similar if you do that.
So, Chef, you do have a following, because we have a comment here from Trudy and Moore. And Trudy says that that your book has some real simple and amazing recipes with ingredients that people already know. So that's a good thing. You know,
Well, I
Yeah.
think she might be mistaken, but all right. So I do not have a cookbook, but it's in the
Okay.
works. It's in the works. So I'm not sure if she's making reference to my page, because I do post a lot of recipes on my social media, especially during quarantine time. You know, I posted like every single week how to use pantry ingredients or simple stuff at home to make Jamaican Caribbean inspired cooking. But she's preaching it into existence, so I'll take that. All right. So whenever that book drops, make sure you support it, Judy. You should be one of the first people to buy the book. All right.
Where can we find you? What are all your social media handles, and how can we make sure that we support by purchasing your future cookbook?
Thank you. So my social is very simple, Chef, and my last name Fowles, Fowles. So Chef Fowles, and it's my Twitter, my Instagram, and my Facebook page, all the same handles.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome.
Nice.
I know.
and you know what? And can you imagine, if you love a nice glass of wine, you can have a nice glass of white wine with this. Rosé would go very well with this as well, and even a light body red wine. So this is it's just a very versatile dish, easy, delicious date night for anyone that's having a date night or whatever it is. If you bust this out, you're gonna impress the person that's coming over, or are you entertaining. So this is just an awesome dish, and I'm so very proud of it. So try this recipe. Let me know if you have any more questions. But if you don't, I'm gonna have this for lunch.
Thank you so much, Chef, for joining us on here. It was amazing. You did amazing as always. Joy, did you have any other questions for him? We don't want to let him.
No, I think a lot of ladies are posting here that they want to come over. There's a comment from our June Minto that says she's coming over for lunch. So I guess you gotta tell us where you live.
I'm based in New York. I operate my catering company. It's Everything Food by Andre Fowles, and usually pre-COVID, I would do a lot of traveling. I do consultations in Jamaica and Miami, and of course in New York. But because of COVID, I'm doing more private caterings, because a lot of people are unable to travel, so they're trying to create experience in the comfort of their homes. So I'm doing a lot of dinners and celebrations, and and eventually soon I'm doing also online cooking. So starting within a few weeks, I'm going to be doing some online classes weekly. So once that's launched, I'll post it on my social. So if anyone that's watching, if you're not following me, go follow me at CHEFFOWLES. So that's at Chef Fowles, and tune in and stay tuned. There's so much great stuff that's gonna come out, but I just like being where I'm at in terms of sharing, using my food as a platform to bring people together.
You have followers
and share our Jamaican culture.
You have people following you right now.
I know.
They are looking at your page. I can tell you that much. Madeline is like, wow, his Insta is off the chain.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And of course, ladies, continue the amazing work. Again, once I heard about it, it was a no-brainer. I was like, yes, I'll do it. You're doing amazing things. And whenever this COVID situation is behind us and we're doing something live, I would love to be a part of it and continue to push the fundraiser. And of course, salute the Jamaican woman of Florida. Yes. Keep up the amazing work.
Thank you, Chef.
So much, Chef. It was great having you on.
Same here.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.